Today I'm breaking down my match against Alabama user with a team that I had never used, but with the play that I recently broke down to you guys that's pretty much unstoppable. Marshall has this formation now. Marshall never used before, and they pretty much have nobody on their team, especially when it comes to abilities. So this makes it much more tougher. Anyways, here's one broken thing that EA needs to fix is the tier system when you're searching. Every time I go to use this, it doesn't work whatsoever. And it doesn't matter for me because I'm always facing a guy that is using Alabama. Like, if it's my first game of the day or my fifth match of the day, I'm playing Alabama consistently. So, I try to do this, try to match up with a tier 5 team, and within 40 seconds, which this is my first match of the day, going up against an Alabama user. Now, going up against Alabama, you guys already know the amount of BS. Doesn't matter if you're good or not, especially if you're not good. Alabama just carries those terrible users. And that's just guaranteed because how broken certain players are on Alabama and just how OP abilities are. So it just makes it 10 times tougher for me to actually compete because Marshall literally has nobody on the team. And you guys are going to see that in today's video. Every time I face a Bama user, it's a pause so they can sub in all the fast players. Every single time. Another aggravating thing that gotta face when you face Bama users. Anyways, my opponent gets first possession. I started out with a match defense. Just want to see how Marshall does. This should have been a user pick, but Marshall has some slow players, man, and it was just frustrating to play with. So that should have been another user pick, double coverage. But I done decently for the first possession, holding him from getting pretty much downfield. But the amount of time he has was going to showcase how much BS was going to happen. So I get ball with great field position, and you guys see here that just instant block shed. Now he was running just man blitz. So right off the bat, remember how my receivers break press. Now Marshall has some big bodies. This is one thing that I've noticed that you can get advantage of if you don't really have people that has dominant abilities for receivers or great ratings. People that are big bodies, like height wise, like 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", they're going to beat press every single time. So I had a big body receiver on the left side square, and he breaks press every single time. Now right here, because it was man press, I told you guys that regardless with that RPO formation, receiver's going to break free every single time. So I do get a little bit leverage. It's just I underthrew the pass so his guy can pick me off. And so that is a small receiver that I was throwing it to as well, but he was able to break press. But the thing is, you guys are going to see me go through or to that big body receiver square throughout the majority of this game. So back on defense I go. And the thing about playing Bama, once you get a decent first possession, then your players start to wear and tear. If you don't have a great defensive line with any abilities, people that play with Alabama is going to have all day in the pocket, and pretty much they can make plays. Now, the thing is, right when I was about to sack the quarterback, he's able to get rid of the ball. And that's what happened throughout this game, and it was very frustrating. So another double coverage, ran match defense once again, and my guys was just getting beat. So later on during this drive, at this point I was using safety because some of the match defense, the safeties just don't play correctly. Like coverages in this game just does not play correctly whatsoever. Also, I had to send 4 players at all times. Usually I send 4 and have a QB spy when I play Bama, or send 3 and do a QB spy, but I was kind of like practicing at the same time, trying different things in this match, which I shouldn't, but I was doing it. So yeah, a lot of time, once again, right before I go to make a sack, he's able to get rid of the ball. I mean, he was making some great plays regardless, finding open players, but it was always the last second. It was like, man, can I not just get that sack? Right here, I was very lucky that, he didn't get that receiver bypass my safety and think I was there. But I caused a forced fumble, but it was out of bounds. Now at this point, Milroe was cold, as you guys see the icon. So I was doing decently on defense, but once again, I was in cover 2. My strong safety is supposed to play anything in that corner, and the fact that this play took this long to develop when he just ran slants, and the backside of the receiver coming left to right side of the field, and he was able to get open, is very frustrating. Now, of course, the only guy that breaks free from the blocking was a guy that was getting double team block. Make it make sense, EA. And of course, you know, I hit him. He's throwing an accurate pass for a touchdown. This is frustrating, man. Like, this is why you gotta have teams with ability players at the line of scrimmage so you can get to people that use Alabama. It makes things much easier. Then he goes for a 2-point conversion. So I'm right there, right? Double team. Like, this should be easy pick or at least a knockdown pass. Now, I underplayed this like hell. And then my guy was right there to pick off the ball, but apparently it goes right through him. You guys see where the ball is at. And it morphs to the tight end's hands that was to the right, and he catches it. And then on top of that, this is an Alabama user. He is doing the onside kick. This is how you know he's completely terrible. So I get ball with great position. Like, I wasn't complaining about this. Now, Square breaks the press on the inside once again, but he's doing a post corner route, so double route move, and you see that he just kills the DB. And I was able to get this ball off barely before getting sacked, and I was able to score some points. So of course I had to go for 2, tie up the game, and I just ran it in. So all I need is a stop. Now, once again, I was playing man defense and a lot of match coverage, and I was sticking with it. I was just practicing it out. But once again, you get time in the pocket. A lot of Bama users can just run around and throw passes like this and get big yards out of it. I can't do nothing about it because containment does not work whatsoever in this game. No matter what you do, containment does not work, no matter who you use. So I had to just keep sending pressure, try to at least. Now right here, I was playing deep with the safety. I thought he was going to try to underthrow that pass, so I was trying to lurk it. And by the time I literally decided to come down, he throws to the tight end. So I gave up a big play. So that was just my user mistake, and then he tries to taunt me by stopping, like really. So he goes for a 2-point conversion again, just motion sweep. Now, you guys see where I'm at. I know what he was doing. Now, I went to go use a tackle because a lot of people will cut back. So this is why I dove inside, because it's automatic. But this is the most frustrating thing. People will run backwards and then just break free. So by the time I switched, the CPU didn't even make an attempt to tackle, and then he's able to break free for a 2-point conversion. So that was another frustrating moment. So right here, I was running the flood play as he was doing this defense the entire game. So once I saw that it was going to be zone coverage, I told you guys that the flood play is really well. It's a zone beater, so he does it again, especially when they run cover 3, which he runs here, and X is always open. The streak post corner combo route is money every single time. Then he went back to the man blitz. So he press, Square breaks free, I throw it to him, post corner route, money. Once again, big body receiver. This is the game that I was learning that big body receivers will break press no matter who you have guarding. You can have a 99 overall cornerback with all the abilities. He's breaking the press. I don't care. And that receiver has no abilities. So then I try to go for a 2-point conversion. I just panicked. I felt pressure. My running back was wide open. I knew he was going to get wide open, but I tried to plant my feet, but I threw off my back foot, and it was an inaccurate pass. So that was disappointing. And then back to match defense. I was pretty impressed with Marshall's defense, how well they was playing match defense in man coverage. So their switching was decent, which gave me enough time to make complicated reads for my opponent. and get pressure. But once again, look, he breaks the tackle and the ability didn't even um, pop out like usual. He just broke the tackle. And then this is where cheese happened. So I was covering the deep tight end that was coming back. This should have been an easy pick. Like, look. Goes right through my hands once again. And the tight end shockingly drops it. But, you know, ball don't lie. I was able to get a user interception later on. But right here, you know, I had another chance. I underplayed this, but my guy was trying to pick it off in stride. Tight end has to come back for the catch. He mosses me. Well, that's what I thought. Because the ball don't lie twice, right? I should have had 2 user picks at that point. So, he tries to throw it deep. Now, this was before half. And yet, I still couldn't get a user interception. I tried to even swat. I couldn't get a swat animation. He comes down with it, but thank God time ran out. So, 3 times the charm, right? Picks, swats, I couldn't get it in my favor. I wish I did because I needed some points right before half because I get ball second half. So, he went back to the man blitz. He audibled out, but remember that I told you guys you got 3 options. Now, when they're backed off, you can hit square every single time. So that's what I do because every time they're backed off, the DB can't play it. And when they go to user switch, they're always holding triangle automatically, so it flops their animation and you can break free for the most part, unless they get suction tackle, which that happens a lot because they can flop and they just get suctioned into animation because how terrible EA is. Anyways, continuing on, you know, I was getting decent pressure. I dropped the pick once again as I knocked the ball loose from that sack. So I'm still playing free safety or strong safety in this point. Scrambling once again. And he was just breaking free. Like, had nothing else to do. Or stop that right there. And that was just a good play by him. So I ended up containing, playing QB spy. And then back to playing deep. I mean, the amount of time he was getting was ridiculous. But that's what happens once again when you don't have great pass rushers against a dominant offensive line. Now right here was match. For some reason my strong safety did not go with this receiver, and apparently it was my assignment because the strong safety went to play the running back. And the fact that my strong safety and cornerback went to play the running back, that's when the coverage is messed up. So of course I gave this up because apparently it was my assigned player when I'm playing on the left side of the field. Makes no sense. So he ends up scoring before the 4th. Right here, I should have got PI'd. I PI'd the hell out of his receiver. But you see my strong safety. He's supposed to play the right side of the field. He's just standing there. Lets the guy bypass him wide open. Now, of course, you might say, why don't you switch stick? Because half the time when I switch stick, it switch sticks me to the wrong person. So I just stopped doing it. Then I break press right here. Post corner route. I was hoping to get a stop aggressive high catch, which I do a lot. I'll just display. And of course, I overthrew my tall receiver. And then his guy ran out of bounds and caught the ball out of bounds for a pick. So I couldn't even challenge it. And there was no booth review, so he gets the ball right back. So at this point, I was like, yeah, I pretty much lost. I got to hope and pray that I get a stop. So right here, just steps up and runs sideways. And then, yeah, another miss interception. The running back can make an acrobatic catch and picks up a 2nd and 22. Yeah, devastating. But the ball don't lie. I finally get my pick, so I came back, lurked the running back, and it's a turnover that I desperately needed when I should have had a turnover how many times throughout this game. So once again, he's pressing. Put Square on a streak this time. You guys just see how he beats the hell out of him. That was easy money. So I mean, he been beating him. It was just I was waiting for the moment when he pressed so I can put him on the streak. So I was able to score quickly. I didn't want to score quickly because I know the amount of BS that happens when people come back with Alabama and they just have all the time in the world. So here's his possession. You guys see that I knew what he was doing. I put myself right there so my linebacker can blitz. I even told my linebacker to blitz, and what does he do? This is how he reacts. This is, once again, broken gameplay. Like, he is strafing. He clearly sees that the running back's running in the gap. I put myself in the gap for the linebacker to stop him, and he gives up yards. Later on, he gets downfield. It's 20 seconds left, right? This should have been an interception. And I got, bodied, blocked from jumping this route, and then my guy's getting blocked. So missed opportunity right there. 4th and 6. I was just playing prevent defense because, he only had one timeout. I was trying to make him waste a lot of time because the amount of running he was doing with the quarterback. So I figured he was going to run off the time. So 9 seconds left. I knew he was going to scramble, but look, the time was going so slow for some odd reason. And then on top of that, he was able to pick up the first down. And then he was able to have 1 second left. Like, really, EA? Now, this is the first time I ever, mess with the coach adjustments for the zones. I never do this. But in this case, I did because he's 12 yards out. I was putting them to 15 yards. Okay? 15 yards, so that's like 3 extra yards to play in the end zone. Because I wasn't worried about him throwing it short and getting it to the end zone. So I knew he had to throw it in the back of the end zone. And check out how my guys play this. Like, this is disappointing as hell. So I moved up the strong safety so he can not run out of bounds and then play his zone correctly. Now, I was a user in Kim as well. But look at this. His guy gets in the back of the end zone. Shouldn't be happening. But thank God my guy was able to swat, and then I drop a pick. But I end up winning the game. So, is it possible to beat Alabama? Yes. It's just the consequences playing with a terrible team. You got to deal with the amount of BS when you play literally terrible players that they can get bailed out easily. But I showed this numerous times of using tier 5 teams. Like I played with Navy beating an Alabama user earlier on in the year, where double mug mid blitz was glitchy and that's all he ran. There's numerous times where I'm playing Alabama and just beating them, but I figure I'll start breaking down these videos. This was a match before the playoffs, so I'm going to continue with Marshall and just see how I do, because at this point, win and loss does not matter towards your rank. And, the ratio in general doesn't matter, just based off the amount of games that you play to get ranked. But rank is a whole nother story that you guys already know that it doesn't matter. But I just want to showcase that using this formation is very, very hard to stop. And like I said, it's mostly user mistakes that will get a stop for your opponent. And this was the first time that, like I said, big body receivers is able to dominate press. So this was a learning experience for me as well. So hopefully you guys take that into consideration, because once again, Marshall has no ability players. Like, basically nobody on the team. But, I was able to win. But in general, if you're Alabama and you cannot dominate me, that means you're trash. Like, literally, you're trash. Anyways, until next time, see you guys later. I know this was kind of a long breakdown, but hope you guys have a better understanding, and hopefully this helps you guys out. Till next time, see you guys later. I'm out. Peace.